Hi, Tanna Marshall here with your Feel Good Friday message. And today I want to talk to you about when things suddenly seem different. And I'm talking about this week because we just lost one of the world's most amazing spiritual teachers, Wayne Dyer. Which you can see one of my favorite books of his, Wishes Fulfilled, behind me. And it got me thinking this week. Of course, when I heard the news, I was shocked and I thought, no, it's too soon. But then I thought, he probably went exactly the way he wanted to go, and he lived his life according to all the beliefs and the philosophies that he'd studied all his life, and he shared them with millions of people. I know that I benefited tremendously, and I always admired that about him because he just really wanted to live in a state of love, and it seems like he got closer and closer and closer, and maybe he reached the point where he couldn't go any farther on this planet, and then he had to move into the spiritual realm to move to the next stage of love. I don't know, but it just got me thinking about how when we lose somebody or when there's a significant change in our life, how things can seem different, so different. Even if it's somebody that you weren't involved with on a daily basis, maybe it's a public figure like Wayne, but you feel the shift in energy on the planet because that person is no longer here physically. And it can also be if you have a change, like you got laid off from your job, or you got divorced, or there was a natural disaster, or you have a health issue. Just in your actual physical environment, everything can be the same, but you feel different, and you go into that state of kind of numb surrealness. You know what I'm talking about? Where you just you don't even know how to process it, and you just have to kind of sit with it, and it doesn't feel real. And I've gone through this with a lot of people in my life. I've lost a lot of friends, actually, from Capitol Records. When I when I worked at Capitol, I had so many people pass away from cancer, AIDS, car accident, plane accident, stroke. It's pretty amazing. So I got to experience this quite a bit. But what I've learned over the years is you can learn how to feel the energy of people who've moved on. And I learned this most profoundly when my father died in 2003, because I spent so much time with him while he was dying and talking to him about after he would leave his body and how we would communicate. And boy, he has come through consistently. And I think we can do this with anybody, even somebody that we didn't know personally, like Wayne Dyer. I did get to meet him a few times and spend some time with him one-on-one, which I'm eternally grateful for. We actually corresponded for a while. He gave me his home address in Maui so I could send him my first book because he was mentioned in it. And he kept sending me copies of the movie The Shift. It had just come out, and he kept sending them to me, like, give away as you see fit. So a bunch of my friends have copies of The Shift from Wayne Dyer personally. So that was pretty cool. But what's interesting is the day that I heard, which was Sunday, August 30th, and he actually died the night before, which was my daddy's birthday. So I thought that was kind of cool. But that Sunday night, I was listening to Joel Osteen, which I do every Sunday night. I record his messages, watch them Sunday night. And I don't even remember what he was talking about specifically, but I heard him say the words, "I can see clearly now." And that was the last book I read of Dr. Dyer's. And I think it was perfect as one of his last books because he recounted all of these experiences throughout his life and the lessons that he learned that he carried forward through the rest of his life. And, I highly recommend any of his books. But, that one's a really good one because it recounts so many parts of his life where he adopted different philosophies and learned different lessons. Oh, the sun's coming out. Did I just get brighter to you? Maybe that's Wayne. Hi. I'm going to take it as that. But anyway, just to hear Joel say the words that were the title of one of his books, I thought was so cool. So you can pay attention and receive that energy, but it's often too soon. It's too fresh when something like this happens, and it can be totally disruptive to your world. But when you step back and you look at it, you go, but why? This person wasn't part of my daily existence, but their energy was. And, my husband and I are binge watching Mad Men right now. And it's so interesting to see them reenact all of these events that happened during the 60s. This happened a lot in the 60s. We lost so many prominent people. We lost President Kennedy. We lost Martin Luther King Jr., Bobby Kennedy. Then in the music side, we lost Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin. Earlier in the decade, we lost Marilyn Monroe. These were people that were so prominent and people felt like they knew them. Probably the most significant one was President Kennedy, because someone in a position like that, you feel like they're taking care of you, they're watching over everything, and then they're gone. And I think Wayne was a little bit like that too. I don't know how other people felt who admired him and read his books and watched his PBS specials, but I think I probably speak for a lot of people when I say I think we all kind of felt like he was watching over us, and he had 8 kids, so I think he had that fatherly energy towards everybody, and I think we all felt it. So when he was gone, it was like, now what? but again, those who have been reading him and knowing him and exposed to his material for so long, I think everyone's like, yes, he has moved on and it's perfect. It's all perfect. So, and maybe you didn't get to meet him and you really wanted to, and that can leave a big hole too. It's interesting because I've had that happen with not too many people, but a couple people just in the last few years. One was Davy Jones from the Monkees. I was in love with him my whole life. The show came on when I was 6 months old in 1966, and so I just always remember throughout my life, it's one of my very first memories, like, oh, Davy. And I thought, I'll meet him one day. And I actually have a mutual friend who's been very close with him since the 60s. He's like, oh, well, you'll meet him, we'll get together. And unfortunately, it never happened. And when he died, I was like, no! And the same thing happened with Diane Disney Miller, Walt Disney's daughter. I always thought, oh, I want to meet her, because Walt Disney died when I was 9 months old. He died on December 5th. Yes. No. December 15th. December 5th was his birthday. He died on December 15th, 1966. So, that's not happening. But Diane Disney Miller, I thought, oh, I really want to meet her, and then she passed away. And one of the funnier things, it's not really funny, but you'll appreciate this. When I started reading Norman Vincent Peale's books, I started with The Power of Positive Thinking in, 1986. I was so moved by this, and I started applying all of what he was offering in the books, and my life started changing around. And I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, I'm going to write him a letter and tell him how much I love his books. And my dad's like, he's dead. So my dad was pretty blunt about it, but I was like, what? So you never know, but we can always connect with the energy of these people. And the suggestion that I want to make to you, when something like this happens, and as I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be the death of a public figure or someone in your life. It could be a layoff. I remember the day I was laid off from Capitol Records. I was kind of numb, and it didn't really hit me until I was driving home, and I was like, I won't be going there every day anymore. That's been my home away from home for 20 years. And you kind of are floundering, and as I said, nothing really has changed in your physical environment, but you just feel different. And it's hard to get yourself grounded again. And so that's what I want to suggest to you. If you're feeling like this for any reason, at any time, I want you to do something to ground yourself. I want you to literally go outside and walk barefoot on the grass or the dirt, and you'll feel that energy kind of anchoring you. And you just need to do things that help you feel anchored and steady, because you've been thrown off balance. So whether it's that, or you reach out to somebody who's a stabilizing force in your life, somebody that you trust, that you can vent to. I remember when Michael Jackson died, I reached out to one of my friends from high school, Karen, because we were very, very close our senior year of high school, and that's when Thriller was huge. It's all we heard all the time. And I hadn't talked to Karen in a few months, but I needed to talk to her, because she was an anchoring source for me in that moment. So reach out to somebody. Maybe you just need to distract yourself. Maybe just watch a movie, one of your favorite movies that makes you feel good and helps you get out of that place for a little while, where you can just lose yourself in the story of the movie or in a book, or just getting out of the house. Go have lunch with somebody. Go meet one of your friends. Just if there's a group that you belong to that you can reach out to, or there's a group gathering that's going to give you that support and that grounding that you need, just think of what would make you feel a little more stable, a little more steady, so you can weather this storm that's happening around you. Even if it's not happening personally to you in your immediate surroundings, it's affecting you here, it's affecting you here, and a lot of times it's affecting the energy on the earth, and a lot of people are feeling it. So that throws everybody off too, because if it's something that's happening on a national scale, a global scale, you feel everybody else off and unstable as well. So it may be a little bit more difficult to find a stabilizing force. But if things are good in your life right now and you feel stable and secure and steady, think of those things that make you feel grounded and steady, and take note of them now so that you can easily go to them quickly as a resource later if something knocks you off balance like this, if everything seems suddenly different. So you're not alone if this happens to you. If like me, you're thinking about Wayne Dyer this week, or you've got something else going on in your life, or you've been through this in the past, just be kind to yourself. Be patient. Find ways to ground yourself, make yourself feel better, nurture yourself. Be patient with yourself. This is a little heartbreak, and it will heal. And like I said, the great thing about this kind of thing, you can heal over time by learning to be open and receptive to a different kind of energy from that person. And if you are open and receptive to it, it will make itself known. Just like when I was watching Joel Osteen and the words of one of Wayne's books came out of Joel's mouth, and I heard it, I got it. So, and when you get that feeling of like, oh, when you pay attention and it really registers, that's really a message meant for you. So that can be from your loved ones too. Just pay attention to that. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Know that it's going to take a little time. Get secure, get grounded, anchor yourself, and just look for things that make you feel good. That's what we always come back to. You got to feel good. That's got to be your number one priority. So that's my message for you today. And I hope that these messages every week are a grounding, stabilizing, loving source for you. That's why I do them. And it does that for me to connect with you this way every week. So I want to thank you for being here and for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you do enjoy these videos, remember to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And if you think that somebody else could use this message, I would so appreciate it if you would forward it on to them. And I also want to share with you the Google Plus community that I have with my friend Penny Petty. Why am I always crooked with this? There we go. We have a Google Plus community for caregivers. So if you're a caregiver caring for somebody, if you know somebody who needs a little support, maybe just a place where they can come and get that stabilizing, anchoring environment, that's what we're there for. We're there to provide resources, to provide a safe place to vent, to share your story, to get support. So if you are in the situation and you need some support, come on over and join us. We would love to have you. And if you would like these videos delivered straight to your inbox every Friday, jump over to my website, tannamarshall.com, and get on the mailing list. You'll not only get these videos, there's a free gift for you, and I share some special tidbits and insights only in my emails. My list is the only one who sees them, so I'd love to have you there. And with that, I just want to wish you a great weekend. However you're feeling, whatever's going on with you, if you're in that place of feeling different and weird and off and numbly surreal, just be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Find something to ground you, make you feel better, and look for things that make you feel good, and it will get better. It'll start to even out and feel better, I promise. And with that, see you next time. Have a great week.